We have been receiving quite a bit of feedback from our subscribers here on YouTube, and today we thought we would pick up on that and create a short video about it. The main topic today is to elaborate on whether it's a good idea to invest 100% of your money into P2P lending. My name is Jakub from P2P Empire, and if this is your first video that you are watching on this channel, and your goal is to become more educated when it comes to making money online through P2P lending, consider subscribing and hit the like button to see more content like this one in the future. One of our valued subscribers recently shared his opinion about investing 100% in P2P loans. He brought up a very strong argument that there are many P2P platforms where investors haven't lost any money. On the other side of the spectrum, we have another viewer who is suspicious about the reliability of the information that platforms provide. Both opinions are legitimate and certainly worth considering when investing in P2P loans. We at P2P Empire spent a lot of time researching, studying, and investing on P2P lending sites in order to report about them on our website or here on our YouTube channel. Fact is, however, that there is only so much information that we can collect or verify. In this video, we'll point out a few points that you should consider when evaluating how much money you want to invest in P2P loans. So firstly, as an investor, you don't have access to crucial business data, and you also don't know what's going on behind the curtain. Many platforms don't publicly communicate their business strategies, and in fact, just in the last 2 months, the CEOs of Bonster, Viventer, and Flender left the company without any public statement. The change of management is not always positive, as we have witnessed in the past. Both Investio and Groupier underwent changes in the management before the platform froze investors' accounts. And before those events, both platforms never lost any of the investors' money. Of course, back in time, no one knew that they ran a Ponzi scheme. Another aspect to consider are the defaulted loans of particular platforms. Most of the platforms don't disclose this data. For the average investor, a defaulted loan means that the money is lost. In the P2P lending industry, however, your money is only lost if it's marked as bad debt. This means that the platform or the lender could not recover the debt and you can now write off your investment. The thing is that it can take months or even years until the P2P platforms declares your investment as bad debt. On Mintos, for instance, you have 3 stages where the risk of losing your capital increases with every stage. First, you have the in recovery stage, where the funds are locked and Mintos is trying to recover some of it. Then you have the default stage, where the insolvency officer is trying to resell some of the remaining assets and potentially pay off some of your investments. Only after this stage, your investment will be flagged as bad debt. The thing is that by investing in loans, you agree to the terms and conditions of the platforms, which clearly say that you alone take the default risk. The platform is released from the liability towards the user for any loss that you might suffer. And this is, by the way, the case with every P2P lending site. So just think about it for a minute. What is the motivation of the lender to recover the debt if there is no light at the end of the tunnel for him and you have also willingly agreed to lose money? Mintos or other marketplaces that suspended lenders might suffer some reputational damage, which can be mitigated by recovering some of your debt. But at the end of the day, it doesn't affect them financially, as they have plenty of other lenders from which they earn a commission. Another aspect that you should consider are the suspended lenders and its connection to P2P marketplaces. So here are 2 situations from last year that might reshape your opinion about some of the players from the industry. The first case concerns the fall of Monify, which was a lender in the SME segment. The lender sourced funds from Iuvo Group, Groupier, and Viventer. Its co-founder and CEO Artur Gesari switched teams in April 2020 and took the position of the head of SME at Crowdester. On the 4th of May, he sent a letter to all Iuvo's investors that Monify will be able to fulfill its obligation towards its investors. On the 13th of May, he confirmed in one of the Crowdester videos that he will do the best in order to repay the money back to investors. On the 17th of September, he had completely left Monify. And this was his response 2 months later when he was asked why Monify isn't paying back to the platforms.
Why Monify is not paying to the platforms? Well, I don't know. I'm not a shareholder or CEO of Monify anymore, so you need to ask Monify why it's not paying, or to ask the platform.
On the 8th of December, EUVO informed investors that they have initiated legal actions against Monify since they were not fulfilling their obligations. So there you have it, so much for relying on his promises. Another excellent case was presented by Finco Group, one of the largest loan originators on Mintos. After the revocation of the lending license of Finco's lender Barks in Armenia, many of the other lenders under the Finco Group entered into a wind down or were sold to Mogo. So Mintos won't be able to enforce any group guarantee as there is not much left from the company anymore, apart from almost 29 million in recovery. If you have been following last year's events on Mintos, you also know that Igor Skessenfeld is not only the shareholder of Mintos, but also of many suspended lenders like Kiva, Express Credit Namibia, Barks or Monego. You can detect for yourself whether this conflict of interest has a positive effect on your investments on Mintos. The CEO of Mintos claims that he's the one making the decisions. However, we have seen how it turned out in the case of Monify, where the CEO and shareholder was apparently not in charge anymore. Now let's talk about the buyback guarantee. As you can clearly read on Mintos' website, they've got your back with the ultimate safety blanket. The buyback guarantee is, as you certainly know already, only as good as the financial stability of the lender. Even though Finco has made solid profits in 2019, the company defaulted just a few months later with almost no assets. How so? Well, profits got reinvested. So as you can see, even a profitable finance group is not able to protect your interest. And that's something to consider with every platform or lender. In most cases, the financial reports are being published with delays of more than 6 months. A financial report for 2019 that is being published in mid-2020 is obsolete at best when it comes to making informed investment decisions. Following quarterly reports and understanding the lender's lending practices is much more useful data than relying on outdated financial statements of companies that fund more than 90% of their loans from a P2P marketplace. If you have been following our channel, you are aware that we don't like to fund loans from platforms that fund their loans entirely through the crowd. It's just not very sustainable during a recession, and this business model might eventually fall apart like a house of cards. There are also other external factors that you might not be aware of. Suspensions of lending licenses is also one situation that you should consider. The payday loan industry is very profitable, but it is also becoming more and more regulated. That's a threat that most people ignore, and it comes down to the lender's lending practices and its legal setup, whether the company will survive, and by extension of that, whether you will get your money back. Last but not least, I want to talk to you about the regulations and laws for the P2P lending industry. The average investor would think that there is some kind of protection for investors against scams, which there is plenty of in the industry. Well, here's some free advice for you. If you get scammed, you should not rely on any regulator or a law firm to recover your investments. To our understanding, we are not aware that any law firm that deals with legal actions against Kudzall, Groupier or Investio has recovered any funds yet. Also, the regulators are lazy and passive. They are not here to prevent bad situations, they are just reacting to fraudulent events in a very slow manner. So if you get scammed, just write off your investments and move on. Even though there is a Latvian P2P regulation in progress, this will only affect a handful of P2P platforms that applied for it. The majority of platforms will remain unregulated. So there you have it. Investing in P2P loans comes with risks that are not always easy to avoid. While we keep an eye on the industry and report about the important news in our newsletter or on our website, there are simply things that we can't always verify in time. Even currently problematic platforms have at first not lost any money. But as you know, you should not always judge a platform or lender by the past performance. We like to believe that P2P Empower is one of the best resources when it comes to independent P2P lending reviews. Regardless of how many percentage of your money you will invest in P2P lending, you should always take responsibility for your investment choices and do your own research before you decide to invest in P2P loans. So that's been it from me today. If you have found this video helpful, hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.